Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness. This week we are talking about stoves, ovens, ranges, whatever you might call it, but we are looking at healthier options when you're shopping for this appliance in your home. So believe it or not, there are actually specific things you can look for that will ensure that this appliance for your house is lower toxin or even just a little bit healthier. We have had our fair share of ovens in our home. We've had numerous go out on us, and so we are actually in the market for a new stove right now. And in doing all of the research, I actually learned quite a bit about what you should be looking for. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today, and I'm going to share with you 4 brands on the blog post this week that I would recommend for any healthy home. So I don't know about you, but I really feel like I have shopped for ovens and done this gas versus electric comparison way more times than I would care to admit. In fact, we just made a decision on what type of stove we'll be getting soon again. And believe it or not, you can actually make a healthy and less healthy decision when it comes to your stove. So I kind of guess that our oven troubles, where we've had to shop for multiple ovens over the last few years, is actually a blessing in disguise, because it has given me so many opportunities to research and decide what will be the healthiest option for our home. So while some of the things I'm going to share with you I already knew, I did learn a little bit more about healthier options when it comes to a new oven, and that is what we are going to talk about today. So researching appliances is really a helpful way to know your budget and what you are going to get, but it can also be a very helpful way to avoid unnecessary toxins in your home. So this episode and this blog post, it is not about taking out or getting rid of a perfectly good stove or oven right now and replacing it. This is about planning for when you are ready to get a new oven or a stove. So let's jump in. I have been saying this to my clients for years, but a gas stove is not necessarily the healthier choice when it comes to cooking. Gas appliances in and around your home create combustion gas in order to create a flame for heat. So gas furnaces and gas water heaters both have combustion gas that can remain in our homes if not properly vented. The difference with a gas stove is that there often is no direct vent outside to pull combustion gas outside. So combustion gas must be pulled out by a vented fan directly above your stove. And quite often, the fan above your stove isn't even always vented directly outside. Instead, it just pushes the air around the room. We call it a circulating vent. So you might be wondering what the big deal is if there's a little combustion gas in your home while you're cooking. The difference is you're usually standing in close proximity to this nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and formaldehyde that are being given off while cooking. There is the concern that we keep our homes very closed up and have very few air exchanges going on inside. And what this means is that any combustion gas inside will stay inside instead of being expelled outside. Combustion air inside has contributed to poor indoor air quality for decades, and we're finally realizing that the exposure to this type of toxin in the home is negatively impacting our increasing asthma rates in children, and it has been linked to an increased risk of respiratory disease in adults. So the winner here is the electric stove. So if the winner of the gas versus electric oven debate is electric, let's also put it up against an induction stove. Induction stoves are said to be much more energy efficient than plain old electric stoves, but at what cost? to be honest, our health. Induction stoves give off high levels of electromagnetic radiation, or EMFs. In fact, so much higher than a typical electric stove that the EMF radiation exceeds the maximum exposure limit set by the International Commission of Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. So in terms of a healthy home, they are advised against. Keep in mind that EMF exposure is highest right next to the source. And so with induction ovens, you are near the source the entire time you're cooking. And with induction stoves, when you touch the pan, you are technically making yourself a part of that current of energy that's flowing through the pan as it heats. EMF exposure has been linked to anxiety, lowered fertility rates, sleep disturbances, and increased risk of cancer and tumors. So it turns out that plain old electric ovens are the way to go in this age-old debate of gas versus electric versus induction. So a few things to keep in mind while you are looking to purchase a new oven. You want to avoid Wi-Fi and smart stoves. Wi-Fi can be an easy way to avoid electromagnetic radiation inside your space. And by choosing to forego a smart stove, you can completely avoid introducing unnecessary EMFs into your space as well. You can also look for RoHS certified stoves. This certification places strict restrictions on the use of hazardous materials and substances. This includes lead, cadmium, mercury, chromium, PBBs, and PBDEs. It can be difficult to find this certification on standard ovens being used and sold in the US, but there are a few out there. And just a note about the Prop 65 standards. They cover over 800 plus toxins and chemicals that have been known to cause cancer or birth defects or reproductive harm. Because ovens oftentimes use mercury, lead, and some other toxins in the interior of the appliance, there are very few stoves that are Prop 65 certified. That being said, you oftentimes are not actually exposed to these toxins unless the product malfunctions or you use it improperly. And then finally, avoid Teflon coating. Some ovens can contain a Teflon type coating and release toxic fumes when being heated up. So it's best to avoid a Teflon interior if you can. So even if you can't get a new stove right now, there are things that you can do while you're mulling over what type of stove to get to make your space healthier. So here's a couple things that we're going to look at. There's 3 of them. First, we want to ventilate your space. This is the number one thing I tell all my clients. Get fresh air into your cooking space as much as possible. You can do this through an open window and you can do this through a vented fan. Even if you just have a recirculating fan above your stove, it's better than nothing. Make a habit to get fresh air into your space during and after cooking. Second, you want to avoid the self-cleaning function. The self-cleaning function on many stoves increases the temperature so drastically that it burns off leftover food particles, creating toxic air inside your home. I do like steam clean options, which don't get nearly as hot and they're much fewer fumes. Otherwise, clean out your oven the old-fashioned way with some baking soda and a kitchen cleaner. And then the final thing I want you to look at is pay attention to location. If your stove backs up to a bedroom, be sure that the bedroom has the bed against the opposite wall where your oven is. This is especially true of induction ovens and electric ovens, which still can give off some EMFs. It's best to have beds on a wall without any sort of major appliance on the other side, and this will help protect the body against EMF exposure while sleeping. So you can head over to my blog post, which I have linked in the description, and I'm giving you 4 brands that I would recommend for a healthier oven. So whether you're in the market for an oven now or you plan to purchase one down the road, remember that there are always ways to make each purchase a little bit healthier for your home environment. So as always, I am just so thankful that you're here. I'm so thankful that you're on this journey to create a healthier space indoors that will really support your body and support your wellness. I am here every single week, and so I really hope that you will subscribe to my channel and stick with me while we create a healthier home.